Hey, thanks for joining us on Marketing with Moody. I'm Austin Moody, and today we're joined by Sean Edwards from Phantom Graphics. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell the viewers what your business is all about.
Obviously, my business name is Phantom Graphics. I specialize in wide format printing for commercial businesses and personal businesses, small businesses. But we do vehicle wraps, window wraps, floor wraps, anything signage outside of apparel.
Okay, and what got you into all of that? Because that sounds like a lot. That sounds pretty complex. It sounds like something that someone doesn't just walk into.
Yeah, so I decided I wanted to get into, I could draw very well in high school, and so that was about senior year, and so I wanted to put it on T-shirts, and so I got into Forsyth Tech's graphic arts and imaging technology program, and I got into doing T-shirts, once I graduated, and honestly didn't like it as much as the vehicle wrapping side of it. And so I got out of that and I started doing more vehicle work, more window work for, like storefronts, stuff like that. And that was ultimately the thing that I got really good at, and it kind of took off. And yeah, it's been a blast since then. So over 10 years of experience, including school.
So if I'm driving down the highway and I see a car or a truck, pass me with, their logo and stuff all over it, that's what you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
also too, like window graphics, if you pull up to a restaurant and see stuff in the windows, that's also what you do?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. That seems, where do you bridge the gap from doing T-shirts to wrapping cars? Because I feel like wrapping cars can be pretty scary. I mean, I feel like that's one of those things, if you mess up, could be scary.
Yeah, so like there's a fair amount of tediousness when it comes to T-shirts too. The T-shirts business tends to be pretty messy, and you need a lot of volume too. And so it's very cutthroat. I mean, any industry can be cutthroat, but like T-shirts and apparel is pretty cutthroat. But there's something very satisfying about taking vinyl and wrapping it around a bumper with no bubbles, or totally transforming the way a vehicle looks, and you see it drive down the highway next to you, the following week. And I mean, the same can be said for shirts, like people putting stuff on shirts and they see it worn. But I mean, also just the margins for me tend to have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I guess I would say I know how to do everything from start to finish. So like not only do I spec the job, I can design as well. So like I do pretty much everything for my clients, where I will design the entire vehicle for you, window, wall, whatever, and then I will go install it too. Okay, so that was fun.
So you're considered an end-to-end.
Yeah. So
from start to end, you're everything in between.
Yes.
Oh, okay, awesome. And what made you go into business in general? I mean, I know you said that you were an artist in high school and you went into doing T-shirts, but as you got into an entrepreneurship life, at some point you had to see that it's not easy.
For sure.
Is that the same? Is that kind of the experience you had?
Yeah. So I guess so. My business is only about 2 years old now. Okay. And before that, I was working in and out of graphics companies, all around Winston, the Triad area. And I mean, to put it in the most basic terms, I kind of got tired of people who didn't know as much as me telling me what to do. I know that might sound kind of harsh, but like that's kind of
no, that's honest.
And so I realized that if I'm going to change my lifestyle and ultimately be happy with the thing that I love, like I love doing this. It's just the people who I was working for, I didn't necessarily like, and dealing with the companies. And so if I realize if I'm going to continue to be in love with my craft, I'm going to have to make this jump. And in hindsight, I didn't like think one day, hey, this is the jump. It just kind of happened. Like I just realized, you know what, I can do this on my own now. Like it wasn't me. It was for me, there was no planning. It wasn't like, hey, 3 months from now, I'm going to do this. It
was faith.
It wasn't like that. It was like, hey, I'm kind of getting really good at this. Maybe I should just try to do it on my own. And and I ran it by the fiance. Asked some advice from a few mentors, and hey, man, and we started it. I started filming a lot of my work, which is huge, and here we are 2 years later, still going strong, and scaling too, which is cool. So
yeah. Also, I heard that you recently got engaged.
yes, in August on my birthday.
Wow.
Went to Puerto Rico.
Congratulations.
She
on that.
thought it was a trip for my birthday, which
And
I mean it was, but
turns out there was some alternative motives there.
Yeah, we popped the question there.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's
huge.
huge.
She's super. I'm happy too. We found a venue. The date's September 28th of next year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You guys are ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
With finding everything.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your biggest supporter in your business life so far?
Definitely, my fiance.
Okay.
She wasn't scared when I made the jump. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't bothered by that. Like she just kind of didn't. She's like, I'm just not worried. Really, and that's kind of huge. Like we live together, and then like we're about to buy a house. We want children, you know what I mean? So like having financial security is huge.
It's so important.
You know what I mean? And so when she just didn't really react, and like she'll go on jobs with me sometimes. I'm like, hey, I need a hand sometimes today. Like if one of my guys are busy, like can you just come help? Put a hand here. She's like, yeah. I'll come.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that right there is pretty big. My mom, of course, and my brothers, they're a huge support system as well. So
that's so important when you're in the entrepreneur world, having that support system to back you up and tell you, especially on the hard days, like, hey, listen, it's hard today, but that's only making you stronger for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So speaking of videos, you were saying something about some videos. Why do you take videos?
So me, obviously, like, the marketing world, there's plenty of ways you can garnish attention.
Yes.
You can wrap a car, you can run an ad, a newspaper, magazine, postcards, t-shirts, you name it. I do still think to this day, at least in the modern day, social media is huge when it comes to getting your craft out. You need to turn the camera on. And
absolutely,
you have to turn the camera on when it comes to laying drywall. Like I'll watch a guy lay drywall down on TikTok at 3 in the morning. Because it's so satisfying to watch. Or some guy just doing landscaping.
Absolutely,
those little videos.
I see those all the time.
You know what I mean? You just get sucked into that. And so like I kind of started forming my work around that, where it's just a time lapse of me wrapping a car, and it started to kind of gain traction. And that's where 95% of my leads come from. Is people seeing me on social media and messaging me and say, hey, I saw your video. I saw your picture. And the second is word of mouth. Just word of mouth is still huge.
For sure.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Like people to this day still really trust when somebody like...
A referral,
man.
It's so huge.
It's huge.
And asking for the referrals, I feel like so many people don't do that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Is reaching out to someone who you have done right by. You've given them a great product or service and saying, hey, do you know anyone who I can help that also has the same need?
Exactly.
Now, your videos, they're organic, right?
Yeah.
So you're not even doing paid videos. No. You're doing organic.
I've done one paid video, and that was on TikTok, and it did okay. But, like, I just haven't had a need to. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should do it more. I don't know. I just haven't had a really dire need to start pushing money into it, just because
the videos are working well, right?
Yeah.
I think what's going on there is you have a powerful tool of promoting your brand, and it's the videos are so satisfying. I've seen so many of them.
Thanks.
And when you're putting out window graphics or wrapping a vehicle, like the time lapse of it is just insane. It's one of those satisfying videos that you're like, I gotta finish this. I don't know why I'm watching it.
Yeah,
I have no reason to watch it, and I'm at this point burning time at 2:30 in the morning, but I don't care because it's satisfying.
Yeah. So something about the human psyche, like they like to see the job be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once somebody or a carpenter starts on something, you want to know where that thing finishes. And it can be a painter too, like anybody creating something. And the time lapse is so nice because it lets you see the process, but doesn't burn too much of your time at the same time. So you can still see it through. So there's a fine line in there. And sometimes, I mean, like I'll make a video where I'm filming and I really don't even know where it's going. You know what I mean? Like I don't set up my tripod and camera knowing what I'm doing necessarily. I just film everything. And then later on, I'll kind of compose and edit and clip, and then I'll add a voiceover, as you know, and just post it and see how it does. I also believe like quantity over quality. I think a lot of people get scared about every video they post has to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, and like the hair's got to look nice. You got to have the best clothes on, the lighting. Mm-hmm. Like people really need to get out of that. You have to just keep pushing it out. Yeah. You know, that way you're in front of people's faces all the time. And so when they need this type of work, oh, hey, Sean from Phantom, he's got it. Or, you know, Austin, he does marketing as well. So,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they wait for the moment to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And that moment never comes. Mm-mm. And they realize that, hey, 35 years have passed. I've you know, committed to this 9-to-5 job for the past 30 years that I can't stand. Yep. And now it's, you know, now it's too late. Which, by the way, for any listeners, I don't think it's ever too late.
No, it's not.
But at this point, like, you know, it's obviously beneficial to start a little earlier.
Your risk is definitely different earlier in life than it is later.
For sure.
Later, you might have 2-3 kids. You might be married, and you might have set your lifestyle up around your 9-to-5. And so, like, your risk management is different.
Yeah,
and so, like,
100%.
I think the sooner you can start and fail and learn those lessons, it tends to be better, I think. I mean, I just turned 30, and so, like, the amount of lessons I've learned in the past 2 years is crazy. Yeah. And it helps your confidence, too. Like, when you take a certain amount of L's, you know what I mean? And, nothing phases you anymore. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever.
That's another day.
Yeah, it's just another day. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, stuff goes wrong every week, and you just kind of have to pivot. And
you got to carry a fire hose around. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to just be a professional fireman. You got to put out the fires every week.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, pretty much. When I first started my business, you know, I didn't have any kids. I wasn't married, and for me, it was just like I want to make some extra money. Yeah. You know, I was working at our car wash at a time, and I want to make some extra money. And then, you know, things started going. Hey, this is actually, you know, going well. This is pretty much, you know, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Now, like you said, there's a lot of L's. So we took a ton of L's when we first started, and then my daughter was born, and then everything changed. Yep. It's like I went from wanting, you know, the Ferraris and Aston Martins and to now just wanting to give my daughter the best life possible. Yes. Yep. And that's been true ever since. I mean, I work now, you know, hard. I work very hard on a daily basis, Monday through Sunday, you know, on weekends.
Whenever it calls.
Even when I'm on vacation, I'm working even on vacation. And it's simply because, like, I want to give, you know, that little girl as much as I can out of life, because she's so important to me, and I want to give what she gives to me. I want to give that back to her.
I want a daughter so bad.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. So we're gonna start trying here like very soon, and I've been praying for a little girl. At first, it was a boy. I was like, I want a boy. Of course, come on, every man wants a boy. But like now that we're closer, I'm like, I want a little girl.
I will say, a little girl will steal your heart.
I know that. Like, she has to. It's crazy.
For all the listeners, you know, I'm not saying having boys are not great, because it is great. Any kid is great. And we love them all, but I will say a mother is the same way with a son as a father is with his daughter. Yeah. You know,
I can see that, and I don't even have them yet. But
my gosh.
I already can tell the closer we get to it. I'm just like, dude, I got to have a little girl.
And I'm a sucker. Like, my daughter.
She deserves everything. She do nothing wrong.
My gosh.
She do nothing wrong.
So everyone tells me how spoiled my daughter is. And they're like, you have her wrapped. Or she has you wrapped around her finger, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I'm not sad about it. Yeah, like I'm not mad about it. I love it, and the fact that she knows that, I'm okay with it. Yeah, you know, she knows to behave. My daughter is extremely well behaved. She's the sweetest girl in the world. Like, I'm very lucky and fortunate to have her. The fact is that she does what's right. You know, now granted, when she gets older, I'm sure that's going to change. Like, she's going to have. Everyone has those teenage years, right?
Absolutely, I have them. Yeah. There's rebellion years. For sure.
It's okay, because she's always gonna be my little girl. You know what? She's awesome. So I hope you do get a daughter.
I want one,
because
I do.
it's going to change your life. It changed my life for sure.
I feel like it'll make you having a kid in general will, I feel like, make you more of a man than you ever were, and I feel like I want that and need that.
Yeah.
And I just, I want the family, man.
Talking about providing for a family.
Yeah.
When you have a daughter, providing for that family gets a whole lot more.
The stakes are higher.
Yeah. Stakes are so high.
Yeah.
So back to Phantom Graphics, you've had it for 2 years.
Yep.
You've obviously tried out different ways of getting leads in the door, finding new clients.
Yeah.
What has been one of the ways that you've went out there and you've done X, Y, and Z and this, one way is working well and this one way is like you're getting a lot of tire kickers.
Yeah.
Because tire kickers I feel like are a real thing.
They are.
That people sometimes are not familiar with, that they spend a lot of time on, and in result, they spend a lot of money on. Yes.
So, and for anybody listening, just try not to be so scared to charge what you're worth. Artists.
So true.
Dude, artists struggle with this so much. Even in my younger years, we love our work so much, but we, for some reason, tend to not charge enough. And that was probably one of the hardest lessons for me to learn. But definitely just stick to a solid pricing for you, and you tend to weed out those people who are looking for a crazy deal and almost wasting your time, and then you're in over your head on your time or your material costs. So yeah, when I get into dealing with people where I'm trying to be far too lenient with, or I don't want to be the most expensive game in town, but I definitely don't want to be the cheapest. And I try to stay away from marketing myself as the cheapest in town. You know what I mean? Because then you get those people who come in and they will treat you as so. People treat you how you treat yourself.
Absolutely.
And so they will treat you yeah, I'm going to pay you $20, but I'm going to get the best quality out of you. you know, and that's not how it works. So.
Well, I feel like a lot of artists and really anyone in the creative industry, unfortunately, they charge based off of time instead of value.
Huge.
And
what you just said is huge.
Yeah, you got to charge based off the value you bring, and especially in the creative industry.
Yeah,
the value you bring is it's lifetime. When you wrap 10 trucks, those trucks go out to do the job. Not only are they very visible at the job site where the individuals that, hired that company to come out, they know that you're who you are.
Yeah.
But also every time you drive around, you're a driving billboard.
Exactly.
You are promoting your business everywhere your trucks go.
Yeah. I know it sounds kind of woo-woo, but you are altering reality in some way. I try to tell people, your work is genuinely changing lives in a way, and not in a huge dramatic sense, but you are possibly getting this person more leads that will pay for this wrap tenfold, because they're driving on the highway, or because this sign is sitting here on the sidewalk. I've had clients tell me that hey, my phone's ringing a little bit more, because I got the car app, because I got the signs, because I did the store window front with the number and the QR code to the Facebook, Instagram. If you can make the connection between the client and their customers more seamless with advertising, it works. It does work.
After hearing that, I need you to wrap my car.
Yeah, it'll bring it'll garnish attention, at least, for sure. People will see you.
Yeah.
Most people's cars are not wrapped.
Yeah.
They see you. And
you know what I've noticed? Some of the companies that are well known in Winston, they become even more recognizable when they wrap their trucks, because then you start noticing them everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see a QRC truck.
I was just about to bring him up. I see his truck everywhere. And then Steam Source. I don't know if you've seen the carpet cleaning company.
Yep.
Everywhere. And I'm telling you right now, if I ever need carpet cleaning done professionally, I just know Steam Source, because I see that vehicle everywhere.
Exactly why when I needed something done with my air condition, I called QRC.
Yep.
It's because everywhere I go, I see them. Like I can't go anywhere. It's like Ashley Furniture's the
yeah.
massive trucks.
Yep.
You know, I mean, when you think furniture, you think Ashley's Furniture.
Yep.
And it's why? It's because you see their trucks everywhere, and it's like you can't get away from it.
No.
You know, even like if you have a solo car, I've seen cars around town that I'm like, oh wait a minute, I've seen that car 100 times because I see, you know, that brand. You know, and it's just so
there's a landscaping,
recognizable.
There's a landscaping company called Weedman. I don't know if you've seen
Weedman.
that.
I've seen them everywhere. I saw them on the way here today.
Did you really?
I swear I saw them on the way here today.
Yeah, man.
And everywhere. It's hilarious because the name,
of course,
they
the name,
did it to make it funny.
Yeah, I mean it's it's a little catching. Obviously, of course.
Yeah,
but, like,
I mean,
still he does his raps, and I know who can do weeds.
Yeah,
know what I mean, so.
Same thing with the what's called Nature Select.
Oh yeah,
same thing with them.
Yeah.
So there's so many of them. You could, and if you really think about it, who have you seen with their cars or trucks wrapped? You could think of so many that you could I see them all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's also a huge part of my industry. Is like obviously we do commercial wraps. Like we got the random guy who has, I don't know, a Range Rover, and he wants it turned into a matte orange. We have those where it's like, I just want to change the color of my car but not pay for new paint. Okay, that's cool. We can do that. But
that's such a good idea. I want my car for red. I want it cherry red.
Really?
Red.
I love your car. I think you should. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and this is coming from a guy in the industry. I think you should leave it. I love your car. But it's black, man. It's just like regular. But so is
black
my car.
paint.
So is my car.
I think red would be super.
I did actually just wrap my car. Actually, I did. It was a gloss black before. I wrapped it in a basalt satin matte black. Took all the sheen out of it.
Oh my gosh!
So tinted the windows.
Never mind. That's what I want. That's what I want.
It does look pretty clean, and now I got to change the wheels to make it look. Anyways, I got way over my head with it. It wasn't supposed to be. I was just practicing and playing with my car. Now it's like my baby.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
So now I need you to do that to mine.
We can talk.
Yeah.
We can
that's gonna be fun.
There's a color swatch that has all kinds of colors. You can do a two-tone flip where it's like blue one way and purple the other.
My gosh.
You can do all kinds of chrome craziness, but once again, like, so you got the personal stuff, that personal wrap stuff like that, but then like the commercial side is where pretty much a lot of your bread and butter is, because people have fleets, like Ashley Furniture is where it's like, hey, I've got to wrap this work van, but by the way, I have 15 more. Versus, okay, I wrap your Porsche, but like I won't see you for like another 7-10 years because that's how long the vinyl lasts. So erring on the side of, commercial is kind of where you can make a lot of money.
Is that how long mine will last? 7 to 10 years?
Yeah, a lot of vinyl will last 7 to 10 years if you take care of it properly.
Holy cow!
And it's installed properly. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, most of it's laminated, like, so protection against sun, weather.
Now, do you go after a lot of companies that have fleets?
Yeah, I try to. Yeah.
Who is your like demographic? Who's your avatar?
Definitely small businesses right now. I've been trying to get more corporate stuff, like really major, big contracts. But just the way my branding right now and a lot of the jobs I've been getting is smaller businesses. It's just, and I don't mind it. Like,
sure,
it's totally fine with me. It's just that's kind of what's gravitated towards me, and I've been working well with.
Got it.
So it's been working out. But yeah, the commercial jobs is huge. They continue to roll over. And also, wildly enough, like, so obviously, I post like 95% of my work, but other graphics companies come to me. Like, people who are in...
That's interesting.
Dude, they come to me and they ask me to go install their work now.
What?
I do it for about 4 different companies now.
So other companies that were technically your competitors.
Yeah.
Now...
Some of them I used to work for. Yeah. 2 of the companies I used to work for.
That is interesting.
Yes. And once again, like, you just never know who's working for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, you never know who's working for you. That kid, like, you may be an older guy who's like, it's easy to look down on younger generations. I get it. I'm 30, and sometimes I see these kids, and I'm like, geez, man. But there might be one guy or girl in there that might give you a run for your money 10 years later in the same industry. So, like, you got to be a little careful. But, yeah, so they come to me, and they're like, hey, we're slammed. We've seen your work. Please help us. And so I've been going to High Point, Greensboro, Charlotte. I went as far as Dallas one time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's weird how the world works, and I've lived here my whole life, so like we're just all ingrained now. So try not to burn bridges,
No doubt,
because like you'll end up working together in some weird way.
How did it feel when you were on the airplane? You flew to Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did it feel when you got on an airplane to go to Dallas, knowing you're going to Dallas to do what you love, you got the job from another company that gave you the job to go to Dallas?
Yeah.
Like, how did that had to feel good?
When you have those thoughts, I genuinely can't help but smile to myself sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, how, like, I genuinely look around sometimes. I'm like, how did we get here? You know, like versus where I was 2 years ago into like now it's amazing. It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's pretty cool. And once we get back to the confidence thing, it helps your confidence. Not in an arrogant way. It's just like, you know, things.
Prideful.
You know things, like you trust yourself more.
Yeah.
You know, like you're instilling trust in yourself.
Some insurance into yourself.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look, I'll figure it out. You know, and that's what entrepreneurs do. They figure it out.
You know, that is the one thing that I think separates an entrepreneur versus anyone else is that, you know, entrepreneurs, to be an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have to be the smartest or the most talented, or you don't have to come from a family with a bunch of money. Yeah. You don't have to go to the Ivy League schools.
You were saying everything right, sir.
Yeah.
Everything.
All you have to do, like at the bare bones of it, you just have to be able to figure it out. That's it. That's all.
And show up.
I
stole a guy's job the other day because he was 2 hours late to the job.
That's insane.
I wasn't. It wasn't on purpose. It was like, hey, this guy won't show up. Can you come do it? And I was like, yeah, I'll be there at this time. And I was there. And so that repeat work that he was getting is now coming to my lap. Like, and that has nothing to do with talent. Has nothing to do with predisposition or where you grew up or how well you speak to people. I guess it's. You just show up. Don't be late. Be willing to learn. Like, all of these are basic human things that you can do, and you'll be fine. But a lot of people don't even swing the bat.
Yeah.
They don't even show up. They don't want to.
Yeah, and so many people, I feel like they miss that. They're waiting for everything to be perfect, and they feel that they're not ready themselves to take on that leap.
Yeah.
And the fact is entrepreneurship is all about jumping off a cliff and building a plane on the way down.
Yeah.
You know, I have had a few people come to me and ask me like, hey, I want to do better. I want to, reach the level of success, which by the way, success isn't a destination. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You know, you can never reach success. You can only continue to go that path. But what I tell people sometimes is spend 1 month, 30 days, just 30 days, and do everything that you tell yourself you're going to do.
Yep.
If you're going to tell yourself, like, sit down one day, think about what you have to do to be successful.
And I can add to that too. Like, I also tell people, get angry a little bit. Anger is very powerful. Not angry at other people or your spouse, kids, or anything, but like get kind of angry at yourself just a little bit. It's better than being sad. And before I made, I guess, the leap or whatever, I was very angry because I just wasn't happy with where I was. You know, I knew I wanted a little bit more, and that anger kind of fueled me to make the decisions to get
Absolutely.
out. You know what I mean? Anger is very powerful. That's a reason we have that emotion. It's very powerful. But
you can use it.
Exactly. Refined in the right way and in the right environment, it's very,
beneficial.
Very powerful.
And what to, like, I think everyone knows what they have to do to be successful. It's not a secret. It's not something that you have to go out and learn. Like, to be successful, I think everyone knows. Just work hard. Work hard.
Of course.
Learn what you have to learn, right? And think about it. Like, sleeping in till 10:30 in the morning isn't really going to benefit you if you are in certain industries or whatever, right? But like, sit down one day and write down 10 rules for the next 30 days. Hey, you sit down and just write 10 rules for the next 30 days. Yeah. If you follow those 10 rules over the next 30 days, your life will be unrecognizable.
It will.
Just 30 days of doing the right things, you're going to see that you are actually pushed into what some would accomplish in 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely wild.
Slingshot. Yeah,
it's a slingshot.
You
exactly
You
right.
can slingshot yourself for sure. Breaking habits and forming new ones for sure. Like, and physical fitness too was huge for me. It sounds crazy once again, but like I stay in the gym quite a bit. But I think the discipline from gym has like translated over to business life somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like I have to stay active, not for I guess physical sake, but mostly mental. Like it does well. It does really well with my brain.
Absolutely.
You know, the endorphins and stuff. But it works out to where like when I was doing the best in the gym, that's when the business was doing the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're taking care of the temple.
Yeah, it's very weird. It was like neither one of them really have much to do with each other. But like when I'm the best in the gym and staying with my workout regimen, the business is doing good too. And if this starts to suffer over here, so does the business. And I started noticing that, and I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah,
so
it's because you're putting the focus back on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me.
And if someone wants to get a hold of you, to talk to you about what you do and how you can help them, how does someone get a hold of you?
Social media, like my Instagram handle is Rashawn, RASHAUN .Phantom Graphics. That is me. TikTok, Phantom Graphics NC. Facebook, Rashawn Edwards.
Awesome.
And my phone number 336-782-9593.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And I do hope we have you back on, sometime in the future.
You've got some good topics coming up, so I would love to be a part of them if you'd let me.
Those are yet to be announced, but
okay.
we are excited about those. So people, stay tuned. Well, thanks again for tuning in with us with marketing with Moody, and we'll see you next week.